What on earth are we looking at? Well, it's a 120 mob farm, a general mob farm that I have made just for the fun of it, and we're gonna be talking about it today. But it's not a normal mob farm. We're making a new video, a crazy project video. What do you mean, Fab? That's not a mob farm. Well, actually it is. Just look, I've turned on hitboxes and you can see them appearing in the farm right now. These are actually mobs that are dying down there. And if we just watch this for a while, you can see that they are appearing all over in the black spaces because, of course, from 1.18 something, mobs can only spawn at light level 0. So that's one of the mechanics we're using. Another one is that we are using pack spawning to make this farm somewhat efficient. But most of all, I think this is just a fun, interesting farm, and I would love to AFK and look down at this changing pattern right here. Let's get a little bit closer. Oh my god, the noise. Quiet. Let's talk a little bit about how this farm works. As I said, it's relying on pack spawning. That's one of the mechanics we use. That's why we have this rim all around it. It's placed at the level of the spawning cells right there. And it's actually enhancing the amount of mobs that we can get in there. We have just 5 like this, and it works like it tries to spawn something and then it moves 5s and try again. And that's how we actually getting a decent rate in a farm that's really not that big and that doesn't have that many spawning spaces. And that's why we have this glass that you see and that I will show you later. And then we have these sculk sensors. Actually, it's calibrated sculk sensors. And they, as you can see, are reacting on the sounds of mob spawning and mob dying. And then we have this dispenser dispensing out lava, killing them fairly quickly, which also helps to get a decent rate. Now let's try and build up one of the cells real quick. We have mud blocks and hopper underneath, and that's where the mobs will spawn. You could also use any solid block and a hopper minecart, but I'm using this. And then we use tinted glass like this. And the reason we're using tinted glass is that it doesn't stop pack spawning. Pack spawning attempts will be stopped by a solid block, but this is not considered a solid block, but it stops every light getting into the farm. So pack spawning can move through them, so to speak. And then on top of that, we have a solid block right there, and then we just use a dispenser right there. And then you actually have the cell itself. We put lava in there. So every cell is like self-contained, you can say. And we could put a solid block on top of that. And then we need something to close it off so that it's dark in there. And I'm just using this tinted glass again so we can look in. And then you can build up with tinted glass like that. If you want to, you could use tinted glass there as well, actually. But we do need a solid block to fire the sculk sensor. And if I just put it down right here, you can see instantly it's picking up the sound of the slimes underneath. So it's turning on the lava, turning off the lava as well. And of course, you can see sometimes it goes down there, but most of the time it will be very short. So it's just a burst of lava. And the way we build the farm, we just continue this pattern right here. We take tinted glass like this, again assuring that the pack spawning will work in all the farm, and we just build it up. Now I have gone into spectator mode, so we can go in here and you can see how the farm actually works, that there are dark spaces and there are lit up spaces, and you can see that the lava mostly stays just for a short while, and we have shifting dark spaces and lit up spaces like that. And that's the spawning spaces in there, so they're ever changing. And in this farm, I have put them in the calibrated sculk sensors in a straight line over here. This is the farm that I really like to look at. It's even prettier to look at from the top. As you can see, the pattern is ever changing like that. So it's only the dark spots that can actually spawn mobs, and it's changing all the time. But as you can see, this farm uses a lot more calibrated sculk sensors that are, of course, expensive. But this is a crazy farm, so we don't really care. But why are we using, go away, why are we using calibrated sculk sensors? Well, if we look at these two and they pick up the sound, you can see that the cooldown time for the normal sculk sensor is a bit longer. Actually, it's 1 second longer, I think, than it is for the calibrated. It's faster to turn on and off. And for some reason, this affects the rates of creepers. The general rate is the same. We will get the same amount of mobs generally, but fewer creepers. Now, as I said, this is an expensive farm. Normally, I don't care when I'm building a crazy farm, but there is a way to use only 4 calibrated sculk sensors. Then you just have to build it up like this, where the redstone is actually powering it in like waves. And the efficiency is roughly the same, but I don't think it's as pretty or interesting as the other ones. But just to make it like a bit realistic, if you want to build this, this is a way to do it as well. Now I have all these different ways of doing it. Everyone has fewer calibrated sculk sensors, but my favorite definitely is this one, and the cheapest is this one. What are the rates, you then may ask? And I have built this one higher up because I'm in a flat world. So this is built at the normal ground level in a survival world, and the rates are approximately 8 to 9 stacks per hour in this small setup right here. And if you build it lower, it will increase tremendously. But so it's not a very efficient farm. It can't compete with some of the other ones out there, especially not for the cost of building it, but I still think it's interesting. Alright, dudes and dudeesses, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like, and if you're new, subscribe. And if you're new and thinking, what the did I just watch? In these videos, I'm like Nelson. I put the monocular for my blind eye and I just have fun. So that's the idea of these videos. See you in the next one. Bye.